What is up? Welcome back to another edition of SacTown Movie Buffs. Once again, it's your boy Kira the Critic. I'm back actually reviewing a new horror film that is currently streaming on Shudder via Amazon Prime. That film is VHS Halloween. Let's get into it. So as you know, VHS has been a long series of basically found footage tapes where somebody either finds a footage or maybe they just go straight into the footage, and usually there's some sort of wraparound story that kind of ties into all the other little short stories. This one and the last one, I believe, they've kind of switched it up a little bit where there's not really necessarily the wraparound story doesn't necessarily tie into all the other films per se. This one here, the wraparound story is actually about this experiment of this drink that they're basically doing tests whenever people drink it. Horrific things happen, and then there's like 5 short stories that are kind of chopped up in between them, cutting in between the wraparound story, if you will. I'll sum it up. Anytime I love anthology films, especially anthology horror films, little short films. The problem with anthology films is there's always like some stories are better than others. In this case, like I said, they had 5 short stories. I love the wraparound story, which was the Diet Phantasma. I love that one. I think my next favorite one was probably the Fun Size story, and then there's a couple other ones, but they're all a little hit or miss this time. I just feel like it wasn't quite as good as the last one. I think that centered around the aliens. I forget the name of that one, but that one was a little bit better. But all of these are pretty good for the most part. They've all been pretty much solid, except for VHS Viral, which is I think the one that everybody pretty much hates. There's definitely some scary moments in there, and there's some humor in here as well. There's a lot of kid killing in this one. I've noticed they do a lot of horrific things to kids in this one, and it felt a little bit overkill by the time I got to the last story, which is actually a good story, but it just by that point I was just like, can we stop with the kids already? But overall, not a bad film. Definitely enjoyed it. Not my favorite horror film necessarily of the year, but definitely one I would maybe check out a couple of the shorts or something of this nature if it was playing on television. Let me know down in the comments, have you seen VHS Halloween? Did you like it? How does it compare to the other stories? And I'll be back with another film review, I guess, if you will, in a couple days. Have a great day. Bye.